Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight at PCEC's 2024 Rendezvous. For those who don't know me, I'm Erica Lighthizer, and with my co-director, Max Yortzberg, we have the honor and privilege to lead PCEC today. It's wonderful to see you all tonight. I see family, friends, allies, all kinds of folks dropping in. Thank you so much for being here. We're here to celebrate 34 years of community-driven conservation in the Northern Yellowstone ecosystem. And alongside our absolutely incredible team, we're committed to protecting this extraordinary place that we get to call home. And if folks can mute on their end as they're zooming in, that'd be awesome. All right, so these past years, and especially probably this past week, have been very challenging. Park County is facing many overlapping pressures at once, from a pandemic to a flood, to rapid growth and new commercial development, to a housing crisis. Each of these challenges has been threatening wildlife, wildlands, and the super strong community that makes this place so unique. Next slide, please. And so that's why we're here, because we care deeply and we know what's at stake. PCEC's mission is to work with our community to safeguard the lands, the water, the wildlife, and people of Yellowstone's Northern Gateway. We've been a voice for this wild landscape for over 3 decades now. And over the years, we've tackled some huge industrial threats, from stopping industrial gold mines, asphalt plants, oil and gas developments, and protecting 30,000 acres of public land with the Yellowstone Gateway Protection Act. But we're kind of unique among conservation organizations in that we also work on development issues on private lands. We work on land use and community planning. And this year we helped save the Park County growth policy by defeating Referendum 1. I think our victories are truly a testament to the power of community-led conservation. Next slide. And they're also a testament to some truly exceptional past leaders. So I'd like to take a moment to recognize Michelle Ubaraga, who hopefully is here tonight, our longtime executive director, Jonathan Hedinger, our former communications director, and Luis Islas, a dedicated board member for PCEC, all of which they've all moved on this year from PCEC, but we want to deeply, deeply thank them for their service to PCEC in this community. Their contributions have been tremendous. So we have to face a stark reality in Park County. Park County is at a crossroads. And open, beautiful landscapes like this one we see in the slide here are threatened. We believe this moment really calls for us to be creative and collaborative in our efforts to protect wildlands and communities that define the Northern Yellowstone region. But we also feel that real success will require all of us. We need an all hands on deck approach. Think of our greatest achievements over the years. They've come when we work together, where we partner with local and regional organizations, with businesses, with people with diverse views and lived experiences. We really need to challenge ourselves to listen deeply, even to those who disagree with us, because in that deep listening, I feel we may find we have much more in common than not. We may find that there's much more shared love for this place than we thought. Through our efforts, when united with those who have shared values with us, we can preserve this an ecosystem where wildlife thrives, where rivers run free, where families can build healthy lives, and maybe even a place where our kids can come home and afford to live someday. So this next slide really highlights how PCEC thinks about and approaches our work. We have sort of 3 major program pillars: healthy ecosystems, conservation leadership, and thriving communities. And each pillar, it's somewhat interconnected, and it all supports our mission and vision. In the Healthy Ecosystems program, We're the local voice for the wild. We defend the landscape from development and advocate for habitat connectivity, wildlife crossings, open lands, clean waterways, and wildlife conservation. With our conservation leadership program, we're dedicated to building an inclusive and diverse environmental movement. We want to empower people through shared knowledge and resources and foster meaningful participation in our local decision-making processes. And in our Thriving Communities pillar, this is where we're really proactive. We think we engage locals in land use planning. We advocate for smart growth policies that support healthy and affordable communities and implement strategies that'll help us mitigate and adapt to a changing climate. You'll hear more about a lot of the initiatives within these program pillars tonight. So next, on to the overall agenda. Here's our agenda for the evening. Thank you for being here, for supporting for PCEC, and for being a part of this organization and this community that cares for this super special place that we get to call home. Now I'm going to hand it over to Max, who's going to take us through a year in review and then the road ahead.
All right. Thank you, Erica. Welcome, everyone. I'm Max Yortzberg. I'd just like to quickly take a moment to introduce our incredible team here at PCEC, starting off first with our wonderful board of directors, which includes Wendy Riley, Sebring Davis, Lucinda Reinhold, Kelly Niles, Karen Cochran, Joe Dorn, Shiloh Hernandez, and our newest member, John Heidke. I'd also like to thank Sandra Lambert and Tom Murphy for serving as advisors to our board. We have a very active board, very involved, very engaged. It's a wonderful part of PCEC. And I just would like to really quick just to talk a little bit about our newest board member, John Heidke. He just joined us this year. And John moved to Montana after a childhood visit to a childhood friend in Paradise Valley. And he's now a year-round resident and has actively contributed his time and talent volunteering locally. First with the at Livingston Healthcare, and then he spent 6 years on the Park County Planning Board and 3 as the chair. And John seeks to bring people together to consider ways to steward our local ecosystem for the next generations. And on one last note, a more poignant one, John has helped us to create the Barbara Hayes Fellowship in memory of his late wife. That fellowship allows PCEC to work with young conservation leaders. And I'm sure Barbara would be overjoyed to know about his involvement and to see his involvement with PCEC. Next, I'd like to introduce our staff. Our dedicated staff. I mean, these folks are the heart and soul of this organization. They pour so much energy and time and just emotion and passion into this work that really makes it possible. That includes Robin Adicott and Bethany Allen, Carrie Kale, Sarah Stans, and our AmeriCorps Vista, Joanna Massier, as well as Erica and myself. And then supporting our staff, supporting PCEC, we also have some really amazing contractors that we work with. These folks provide guidance and support and advice, as well as just helping us work on some very particular projects. Those include Francine Spang-Willis, who you'll hear more from in a moment, Alicia Zhang-Ward, Jennifer Magic, Rihanna Peck, Brett DeYoung, Tyler Averman. Thank you all, everyone, staff, experts, board, for your hard work and commitment to PCEC. We couldn't do this work without you. So let's give them all a quick round of applause over the internet here. Next, I'd just like to highlight some of the major projects and work that we've done in 2024. It should come as no surprise that we've been really active and very busy on this work. And I'd also just like to throw in that we've been, had a tremendous amount of support from volunteers and people who have stepped up and given their time to PCEC. And without their help, we wouldn't be able to be as engaged as we are. Kind of one of the biggest things, I guess, I just on a more personal note is Erica and I took over a co-managing role as managing directors of PCEC. We transitioned from Michelle into our leadership and have done so fairly seamlessly. That was a big moment in this past year. Project-wise, our growth policy victory. We successfully defended Park County's growth policy by defeating Referendum 1 at the ballot box last June. Referendum 1, if it had passed, would have scrapped our existing growth policy and required that a new one be drafted, which would have been a 2 or 3 year process. It would have left us high and dry in many ways. This growth policy that we protected is set to be updated here in 2025. And I just want to take a quick moment and talk about how important having a growth policy is. Right now, we are very actively working on and trying to prevent a massive, large-scale development up Sioux Springs, as you may have heard. That development, kind of came out of nowhere. And one of the methods we're working on in that sense is that we're trying to get our county leadership to take a role and to start looking at tools to deal with it. And we wouldn't be able to get our local county leadership to actually even get involved in that if we didn't have a growth policy. So having protected it is really, really vital. Thank you to everyone who volunteered on that effort, who donated money. It was a considerable expense and a lot of time. So next, real quick, I'd just like to highlight some other pretty big components of PCEC's work this year. We conducted invasive and noxious weed treatment monitoring across the county in partnership with the Park County Cooperative Weed Management Area. We also led educational field days and trained the community on invasive weed management and the monitoring of and treatment of effectiveness with MSU Extension. We supported Yellowstone Safe Passages to promote their wildlife crossing study and to prepare a successful application to fund a feasibility study for a wildlife crossing project on Highway 89 at Dome Mountain. We advocated for changes by FWP to the season setting for wolf management in the areas adjacent to Yellowstone Park. And we helped with the installation of bear-resistant infrastructure in Park County to help reduce conflict with bears. And speaking of bears, we have a really cool event happening in a week, a panel discussion hosted by Nick Mott on grizzly bears that I think you all would really enjoy. We'll be getting more information out on that shortly. We are doing a lot of work on community resilience, building a toolbox for the city of Livingston to address climate. With our program, Livingston Loves Trees, we planted over 100 trees across town. We've conducted oral history interviews as part of the Crazy Mountain Oral History Project that Francine will be talking about shortly. With our youth involvement, we continue to support the Park High School Green Initiative and our high school summer internship program. We helped the Green Initiative apply for funding to the EPA, which led to the school district being awarded 2 electric school buses. Let's hope that comes through. And we had numerous volunteer projects throughout the year that people came and showed up for. They helped plant trees, they helped with land stewardship, trail maintenance, Earth Day celebrations, all of that. A really engaged community that we really love working with. So naturally, we can't do this without your support, and this rendezvous kicks off our end of year membership appeal. So I'd like to turn it over to my colleague Carrie to speak to you more about that.
Thanks, Max. So I'm Carrie Kale, and I'm the Business and Community Partnership Director here at PCEC. And I want to take a moment and talk to you about the work, about how you can support PCEC's work. This event has given us the opportunity to kick off, as Max said, our year-end giving campaign, and our membership fundraising goal is $100,000. Becoming a member of PCEC not only supports our initiatives, but also connects you with a community of passionate individuals. We invite you to join us in our mission. Every contribution makes a difference in our conservation efforts. Every year, our community faces more and more challenges and changes, and your contributions allow us to do the work to protect this place. Thanks to a $50,000 matching pool from 5 of our major donors, every dollar you give during this campaign will be matched, doubling your impact. As an incentive tonight, if you give this evening, we have some fun gifts to share with you. If you give $50 this evening, you'll receive a 2025 Tom Murphy calendar. And if you give $100 or more this evening, you'll get the calendar and a PCEC Hydro Flask, which are pretty cool. We'll pop the donation link in the chat now. So if you like, looks like Max just did that. So you can click on that to donate. And we'll be checking back throughout the evening to see how our donations are going. So please help us start to reach our goals this evening. And with that, I will hand it over. I will hand it back to, actually, I'm going to hand it to Wendy Riley. Wendy?
It would help if I were off mute. Sorry about that. So thanks a
Welcome,
lot.
Wendy.
Thanks a lot, Carrie. My name's Wendy Riley, and I'm privileged to be a member of an excellent board of directors for PCEC. Our bylaws require having tonight's annual meeting and ensuring you members have the opportunity to vote for the board positions and also to hear about PCEC's financials. First, the board member voting. The board has 3-year terms on a rotating basis. This year, the terms for Sebring Davis and Lucinda Reinold are up, and we'd like to ask you to renew them. Also, we experienced a vacancy, as Max alluded to, and the board replaced it with John Heidke, who you heard about earlier. So we're asking you to confirm that appointment. So please look in the chat for a link to the ballot and go ahead and click on that link and cast your vote. Thank you. Now on to the financial report. Next slide, please. Last year was a challenging but successful year for PCEC. So let me go through some of the key highlights. First, for total revenue, one of the reasons the year was challenging is that we set lofty goals to enable us to accomplish more. The total revenue here that you see of $953,500 was nearly 40% over the prior year, and we were able to achieve that. For the expenses, you can see that a large majority goes to our program work. The staff does a great job of keeping administrative costs down. As you can see, in our net assets or our net income, we went slightly over budget because of unanticipated expenses from having to fight referendum 1. And we anticipate going over budget this year due to referendum 1's expenses that were mostly incurred in this year, 2024. But overall, we feel good about our financial health, but really need your help to end this year strong and position us for 2025. Obviously, a strong financial position is critical for allowing us to continue our vital work in the community. And we're very grateful for your continued support. And with your help, I'm sure we can get there. All right, back to you, Erica.
All right. And now I'm thrilled to introduce Francine from Appearing Flying Woman Consulting, tonight's keynote speaker and a really inspiring teacher that I've had the pleasure of working with for several years now. First on some women's leadership summits back probably 5 years ago or so, and later on some conservation and access issues in the Crazy Mountains. Francine's oral history methodology and her commitment to understanding the deep and layered history of the landscape and the diverse communities connected to the landscape have both subtly and profoundly influenced my own approach to conservation. Oral history, she's said this before, is a method of learning to listen deeply. And her work on the Crazy Mountains Oral History Project, collaborating with diverse narrators, will help us better get to know one another and work together more effectively to care for this wild and working and spiritual landscape. So please help me in welcoming Francine.
Good evening. I'm honored to be here with all of you tonight. I will present on deepening community engagement, specifically through the Crazy Mountain Oral History Project. I'd also like to thank Park County Environmental Council for inviting me to be the keynote speaker for tonight's event. I also sincerely appreciate PCEC's collaboration with diverse individuals, communities, and organizations connected to Park County, and Erica and Sarah for being solid project partners. I'd also like to thank the Montana Historical Society for agreeing to house the Crazy Mountain Oral History Project archive material so the public of today and future generations can access and learn from it. I also want to express my deep gratitude to the 16 narrators who agreed to participate in this project by sharing their life history, connection to the Crazies, life experience, expertise, and ideas of how we might best care for the land and each other today and in the future. This evening, I will introduce myself, cover my experience with oral history in my personal and professional life, describe the unique approach of the Crazy Mountain Oral History Project, and explain how it is helping and can continue to deepen community engagement for the benefit of the land and all biodiversity connected to it. And I'll also explain how we wish to move forward with the project with your support and participation. Next slide. So I'm a Northern Cheyenne Nation citizen. I'm also of Pawnee and settler descent. My Cheyenne name is Appearing Flying Woman, and after my paternal grandmother. I am an oral historian, Native American Studies scholar, and business owner based in Bozeman. As the founder of Appearing Flying Woman Consulting, I collaborate with diverse organizations, communities, and individuals to primarily create and implement community-centered oral history projects. I am an Emerson Collective Fellow in the Community Champions cohort. This fellowship has primarily supported my role in leading the Crazy Mountain Oral History Project team in 2024. Like many of you, I enjoy spending time on and with the land. I appreciate being connected to such rugged and beautiful landscapes like the Crazies and the nearby Absaroka Beartooth Mountains and all the biodiversity that lives there. I'm fortunate to have a partner who had the vision to build a small, beautiful off-grid remote cabin near Cook City because it has brought me closer to the land and allows me to love it more and consider it more along with all the biodiversity connected to it. But my love of the land and biodiversity started in the plains of Montana. I grew up on the Northern Cheyenne Reservation in southeastern Montana. I'm from a chief family and a settler family. I have many fond memories of my childhood, which have influenced, nourished, and sustained me throughout my life journey. While I did not live with my mother, she was still a big part of my life. She gave me a powerful gift through oral history by ensuring I knew about my notable ancestors and their sacrifices so that you and I could live here in this beautiful, rugged country. One of those notable ancestors is my great-great-grandfather, Chief Dullknife, also known as Morning Star. He was a prominent leader who was instrumental in helping the Cheyenne people obtain the Northern Cheyenne Reservation in 1884 during the settlement of the West. Oral history was and continues to be a vital method of engaging with my family and community to gain a deeper understanding of Cheyenne history and culture from a Cheyenne perspective. This process brought me many profound teachings outside the K through 12 or higher education systems. The oral history process was and continues to be critical to understanding my Cheyenne and American identities, and it is instrumental to understanding my connection to the land, biodiversity on the land, and communities within and outside the Northern Cheyenne Reservation. Oral history developed and continues to evolve my worldview. It taught me how to see, understand, and engage with others in a way that considered more than just my wants and needs. For example, I understand the land and all its biodiversity to be my relatives. Because I see and understand them this way, I can engage and care for them accordingly. The oral history process can do the same for you, the Crazies, the Beartooths, and every being connected to these special places. It can inform and involve your identities individually and collectively, your ideologies, and your engagement with the land, biodiversity, and each other for the benefit of the collective today and in the future. On a more professional level, I have engaged with oral history through the American Indian Tribal Histories Project, which is a project I co-created as a Western Heritage Center Museum board member. And then I stepped off the board to direct and implement the project from 2002 to 2009. After 2 decades, the project is featured in the second edition of the Indigenous Oral History Manual, Canada and the United States, published in 2024. I was also an editorial supervisor for the Obama Presidency Oral History Project and a fellow in the Obama Presidency Oral History Program at Columbia University from 2019 to 2020. While there, I also helped to guide the Listening to Harlem and Rethinking Community Engagement Oral History Project. I earned an MA from Columbia University. My award-winning oral history project thesis, Becoming Wild Again in America, the Restoration and Resurgence of the Pablo Allard Bison Herd, is a website and 3-part podcast. I'll provide a link in the chat tool at the end of this presentation to access my full bio and contact information. Next slide. The project stems from an ongoing conflict over land access and use in the Crazy Mountain Range and how to best share and care for the range, including all of the biodiversity living and depending on it for survival. The project is not just about preserving stories, but it's also about coming together as diverse individuals, communities, and organizations to create space to listen, discuss, and influence how we have relationships and care for each other, the land, and the biodiversity on the land today and in the future. The project is a collaboration between Appearing Flying Woman Consulting, Park County Environmental Council, Montana Historical Society, and 16 narrators from diverse communities and organizations in Montana. In the future, we hope that you will be able to join this collaboration during 3 listening and discussion sessions. The project aims to create an archive collection, a website and podcast series, discussion and listening sessions, and finally, a framework of conservation strategies to access and care for the crazies. In November 2021, I began working as a consultant to help develop this framework of strategies. As a team with Erica and Sarah at Park County Environmental Council, we understood there's a critical need to collaborate with diverse peoples and organizations to help build a deeper understanding of the layered history and the processes of colonialism that contribute to the challenges of accessing and caring for the crazies and all the biodiversity existing there. We also understood that it's important to create space to discuss and understand diverse experiences and knowledge related to the crazies and the surrounding area. And finally, that it was essential to continually foster a reconnection, connection, and continual relationship with the crazies and all the biodiversity there. So in 2022, we agreed to use an oral history methodology to help develop a framework of conservation strategies to access and help care for the crazies, each other, and the biodiversity as part of nature or an ecosystem. This process is unique in that we intentionally seek and include diverse perspectives of individuals and organizations from diverse communities connected to this landscape to create educational tools and solutions rather than developing educational tools and solutions amongst a few people and then trying to get others to support those ideas. The process is also unique in that we create space for diverse narrators to share their wisdom and expertise and give feedback on the archival material, the website, and the podcast. We also want space for other folks like you to provide your input in the listening and discussion sessions after you've had a chance to view and listen to the podcast series and the archival material. We want your input to help create the final framework of conservation strategies for the crazies. Finally, the project is unique in that each deliverable builds on itself to create the final framework strategy. In 2022 and 2023, the team completed research on the crazies and the surrounding areas, and then created a blueprint, an oral history agreement form, an interview guide, and a list of potential narrators who could provide meaningful and diverse insights based on their experience and expertise. In 2024, we invited 16 narrators from diverse communities, educational backgrounds, and work experience to be part of the project, and we completed 19 oral history interview sessions. The narrators include current and former employees from nonprofit, for-profit, state and federal organizations, universities, tribal governments, tribal colleges, ranchers, and recreationists. The collection is a rich tapestry of 28 hours of audio, transcripts, signed oral history agreements, narrator photos, and metadata. The narratives, woven with the thread of history and personal experiences, shed light on the impact of colonialism and the land's accessibility, use, and conservation. The collection also offers insight on how to best care for the crazies and the biodiversity connected to it. I'm currently overseeing the completion of the transcripts and the archive material organization. In February 2025, I will send the collection to Montana Historical Society. Next slide, please. So moving forward, if we can secure more funding in 2025, the team hopes to further curate a project webpage and a 3-part podcast series with the project's archival material and with narrators' feedback. You can access the project description on the PCEC website if you wish. The podcast series will share the narrators' life experiences and perspectives on the layered history of the crazies and their ideas on how to take care of it. We hope to give access to the podcast series by February 2026. If we can secure funding, we also hope to host 3 public and in-person listening and discussion sessions in early 2026. Also, the team hopes to work with the narrators and others to create a framework of strategies. In early 2027, we hope the strategy framework will be accessible to the public on PCEC's website. We have begun preliminary discussions on what implementation of these conservation strategies might entail, starting in 2027 and beyond. In conclusion, the project deliverables have the potential to be a powerful conservation tools. They are potential catalysts for change with the power to influence the care of the landscape and its living beings for today's and future generations. While not yet quantifiable, the project has the potential to help create a more sustainable future together. I hope you can support and participate in the project as it moves forward. Please feel free to ask any questions at the end of the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Francine, for sharing your work, all of your work and your work in the crazies. I'm looking forward to continuing to learn from these important stories. Next, we want to check in on our donations. So I want to ask Max if he can give us an update.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're off to a great start. Thank you, everyone who's given so far tonight. We were at about $1,800 in donations through that donation link. If by chance you don't want to navigate through websites and online donation links, you could always send in a check or some greenbacks through the mail. We just sent out our year-end letter appeal. There will be a remit envelope in there too, coming to your way to your home, so you can donate to us in that sense too. But I think for right now, we're off to a really fine start.
Okay, thanks everyone, and thank you, Max. My name is Bethany, and now I have the privilege of presenting our annual awards to some pretty special folks. So first, we have the Volunteer of the Year Award,
This year, we honor Nate Johnson for his outstanding dedication and commitment to our initiatives to enhance the diversity and resiliency of Livingston City Forest through our Livingston Loves Trees program, and for working at the Zero Waste Station at the Livingston Farmers Market to reduce waste by teaching the community and visitors how to recycle properly. If you are a regular at the farmers market or have planted trees with us with Livingston Loves Trees, you probably know Nate. Nate has been volunteering at the Zero Waste Station since it started in 2019. He comes every year, all season long, and is passionate about helping the community learn about composting and diverting trash from the landfill. This year alone, almost 4,200 gallons of trash was diverted from the landfill with his help. Their Zero Waste Station does not work unless someone is there to make it happen, and we couldn't do that without Nate. So in addition to this act of service, he has helped plant nearly 300 trees with Livingston Loves Trees. He keeps showing up for this community, and we are extremely grateful. So thank you, Nate. Are you interested in saying a few words? You can unmute or turn your camera on if you're interested.
Or am I on?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I just appreciate the opportunity that PCEC makes available for me to give back, to my community that I live in and that supports me. So yeah, I'm grateful, and thanks for the recognition.
Thank you again, Nate, for all your hard work, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you around soon. And so next, we present the Janet Shirey Award. So this is recognizing Remy Sexton for her exemplary contribution to conservation in our community and across the state. The Janet Shirey Spirit Award is in honor of a formidable community activist and PCEC member. It's given to someone who embodies PCEC's spirit of conservation and service each year. So if you know Remy, you know she's beyond deserving of this award. At age 12, Remy's environmental advocacy journey began by securing funds to launch a recycling program at the local middle school. As the youth representative on the Montana Environmental Policy Act Steering Committee, she amplified youth voices in state climate policy. She educated her high school peers on safe sex, healthy relationships, and testified before the state Senate for equitable policies. Remy also achieved a rare certification in community food systems, mentored young students on sustainability, and has earned her place at the prestigious school in Massachusetts, furthering her studies in both marine and terrestrial ecology. Through PCEC's summer internship program, Remy organized and led community events, spoke at local venues, and engaged the community at the Livingston Farmers Market. Remy's dedication has also earned her the Montana Youth Leadership Forum Award, selection from the Harvard Chan C. Chain Youth Summit, and the 2024 Park High School Valedictorian Honor. She even has been featured on Montana Public Radio for her work with the Park County Green Initiative. I've personally had the honor of working with Remy on a very small scale. Her focus, attention to detail, passion for learning, and drive was evident within minutes. So thank you so much for your passion and amazing work, Remy. If you would like to say a few words, please feel free to unmute and pop on.
Hi, Bethany. Thank you so much. I am very thankful for the role PCEC has played in supporting my involvement in conservation. I would also like to thank Alicia Junga Ward for being with me every step of the way for the past few years as I entered the realm of working for climate justice. And I would like to thank all of you who are here today. One of the reasons I'm passionate about fighting for the place we call home is because of the people who live here. So thank you all so much for showing up and investing in Park County. I'm very honored to be receiving this award, so thank you very much.
Thank you again, Remy. Thank you, Nate. Congratulations to you both. Your hard work inspires us all. Now I'm going to hand it over to Sarah so we can hear a little bit more about what's next for PCEC.
Thanks, Bethany. Hi, everybody. I'm Sarah Stans. I work on community resiliency for Park County Environmental Council. And I just want to say congratulations to you, Nate and Remy. We are so grateful for your dedication and contributions, and it's been so awesome working side by side with you in our community. So I appreciate you all for being here, and it's really an honor to present what's in store for 2025. And we've tried to consolidate it as much as we can because there's no shortage of things that are happening here in our community. We were going to start off with a little video, a brief video to set the scene, where we'll hear from some of our local community and PCEC members. It was a video that we created for the No on Ref 1 campaign, and these testimonials really helped frame our work in 2024 and also what's valuable and what's next for PCEC in 2025. So we did have some technicality issues at the warm up. So Bethany, are you going to try to do that, or should I try to share my screen to do that?
I am happy to try again, or we could go with your test. We can try mine.
Nope. I'm not hearing it. Okay, we'll give it one more shot.
I'll stop sharing.
And then we'll move on swiftly. Another technical difficulty is that I'm going to like share screen, and this is getting funky now, right? I don't know how to, yeah, I think you have to stop sharing your screen first. Let's see.
I did.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to get it. Sorry, everybody.
I can share it from my screen if you give me access to share it from my screen.
View request, Francine.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
We all dearly, dearly love this beautiful place. I think we still have that chance in Park County. We still have that chance to keep it as beautiful as it is.
There's so many more houses than there were when I was a kid. It's a beautiful place. People are going to come here. I don't begrudge that, but I'd like to see us have some type of input into how it grows. Without a growth policy, we're blind. The people of Park County designed the growth policy. Everyone in the county that wanted to participate in it was able to participate in it.
If we lose the growth policy, we will be so unprepared for what's coming our way and how fast it comes and the change that's going to come with it.
You know, you go over to Ravalli County, you go down the Bitterroot, McMansion's next to Shacks. That's my biggest fear, is that we're going to be driving through neighborhoods all the way down the valley.
You can't anticipate everything, but you can anticipate some of it. And you can't do that just by trusting to the future.
And unless we have something in the toolbox to work with, it's going to be whatever the people with money want it to be.
We need to make sure these decisions stay in our hands. Vote no on referendum 1.
Thanks, Francine. I think that was a demonstration that we really need all hands on deck to do this work, even to get through a Zoom rendezvous. So thank you so much. And thank you to the testimonials and the people that participated in that video and that campaign. Firstly, it just can't be said enough that the community coming together, and for all those that helped on Ref 1 to save the Park County growth policy. and who will continue to come together to create tools and policies that keep our common values intact. Unfortunately, this work is never done. I'm a testament being a multi-generational PCEer, and we are concerned about the growing pressures of industrial development, but also the acceleration of large-scale development and residential growth. So without guardrails, and the community it doesn't have the power to preserve those amenities that we value, wildlife migration routes, access to clean water and open land. And so we intend to invest fully in 2025 in developing local tools and a review process to really ensure we have a say in shaping this growth. To PCEC, success is complex. It means embracing solutions that might not look familiar to any of us, particularly as we face these increasing threats to our environment, our wildlife, biodiversity, and our community. And we need more people and more perspectives and more voices, even if we don't agree, to get into the arena and to find new solutions to add to our group intelligence and to help us face a new world and to the challenges that we've never faced before. So our strategy will be one of proactivity. We're going to stretch into places where we find strength, and we're going to continue to build local power. Our work includes continuing many of the program initiatives that Max highlighted at the beginning of the evening. And as we look ahead in our work of 2025, we'll first and foremost, we'll be defending the lands and the wildlife in Park County. We'll be a voice for the land and the wildlife, especially those that do not have a voice in these spaces. And we'll act as your community watchdog. We show up, we attend meetings, we pay attention, and we get ahead of and oppose harmful projects like the Seuss Creek development, while we also support wildlife crossings, predator coexistence, and protections for bison, bears, and wolves, as well as the beavers, the fish, and the bees, and the little critters that we all share this place with. So secondly, we will help guide responsible and smart growth while building local power. We'll continue advocating for local control and strong land use policies that protect wildlife habitat, clean water, and help us anticipate, adapt to, and prepare for climate impacts in a changing climate. So now is the time we really must lean in and come together. The message hasn't been stronger, where we can also make it really fun. And because this work is not only essential, but it can be very, very hard without our community and our neighbors behind us to support us. So third, but not last, but it is last, we shall strengthen our engagement and collaboration with diverse organizations and members of our community, and the theme of tonight. We'll continue to show up and speak on behalf of this place, to engage youth and diverse voices, to be more inclusive, to create a sense of belonging. We'll deepen our collaboration with local organizations, and we're finding alignment across diverse missions. And we continue to host community events, expand initiatives that promote climate resilience. So we're building a Park County that's engaged, resilient, and we're ready for the future and many futures beyond our lifetime. So to make this vision a reality, we always need your support, and we can't do this without you. I'm inviting you on behalf of all PCEC to show up where you can and help build our movement. Your support, I am getting a little emotional, as I always do when I talk about community. Your support really directly empowers us and enables us to show up to defend, grow, and empower our region for generations to come. It really helps us to face what is seemingly impossible, where we can bravely face the wind and lean in with our hearts. To sustain this work, we depend on our members' financial support, of course, and an investment in our shared values. And we really appreciate your support in a more resilient Park County. So together, we can fight like hell and make a profound, long-lasting impact. So thank you all very much for your time, for all that you do, to my PCC colleagues and everyone here on my board. Thank you. Over to you, Carrie.
Thank you, Sarah.
As Sarah says, we have a lot of work ahead of us in 2025. And to do that, we need to meet our goals. And so to start with that, Max, can you give us an update? How are donations coming along this evening?
Yeah, we've gotten a couple more. We're up to about 1,900. So I just popped into the chat, again, the link to our donate page. It's not too late to head over there and donate tonight to help us get a really big start to our end of year giving campaign. We really appreciate all of your support in that effort. So
Thanks, Max.
it's coming along.
And as you've heard from all of us tonight, your contributions allow us to sustain this vital work. We need flexible, visionary funding that allows us to respond to the emerging threats and seize new opportunities. Conserving this wild ecosystem requires advocacy, collaboration, deep engagement with diverse communities. We are committed to showing up, listening, and leading. Today, I ask you to support this next chapter. Your contribution will directly enable us to advocate these initiatives and ensure a sustainable future for Park County. Thank you for considering a donation to fuel our mission. Whether you donate $25, $100, or $1,000, your gift helps safeguard this region and protects its wild inhabitants. If you've already renewed your membership or made a gift this year, thank you. The larger our membership, the stronger our collective impact will be. Your year-end gift allows us to confidently enter 2025 and build out 35 years of PCEC's work for Park County's wild landscape and resilient communities. Remember, giving tonight of $50 or $100 or more this evening, you'll get a pretty cool gift. And so please do that for us this evening, and it will help jumpstart our end of year giving campaign. If you donate by midnight tonight, you'll get the cool gifts. I think, Bethany, do we have another photo of that in the next slide? So I know that Tom Murphy calendars are an incredible Christmas gift. Everyone loves them. And the Hydro Flasks are really wonderful to have. We use ours all the time. So with that, thank you all for your support, and please continue to give through the end of the year. If this isn't the evening, we'd love to have a contribution even later on. And I will throw it over to Erica and Max.
Right on. Thank you, Carrie. Let's just close out here with a couple of upcoming events. We have our chili dinner on December 4th that we'd love to see you at. It's really casual. The PCEC staff makes different chilies. There's a bit of a cook-off and a competition. It's a really fun chill event. So I'd love to see you all there. We also have a ski day coming up in March of next year, thanks to the wonderful Bee Bar Ranch. And next page, next slide, please. Here's a couple more events that we are hosting with partner organizations, Living with Grizzlies and Frozen Frames, about Tom Murphy, our incredible longtime board member, founding board member, and supporter, Tom Murphy, about his life history. So look forward to seeing folks at those events. And with just the last couple of minutes here, I mean, I would love to open the floor to folks to ask questions about Francine's presentation, to give a nod and a toast to PCEC. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself so others can join on. Anyone want to answer or ask a question or say a few words?
Well, I will say,
sorry.
I was going to say, no, we've gotten a couple more donations. Thank you, everyone. We're now over $2,000 to kick off our end of year membership appeal. So really appreciate your support at this time. This year-end appeal will help us start out the next year in a very strong positive way. So that support really helps carry us into the winter.
I know Sebring was just about to give us a lovely toast. I wondered if she would
She was.
want to do that.
You might take yourself off mute though. There you go.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank all of you and all of the community members for the great work that wouldn't happen without everyone showing up, everyone paying attention to PCEC's calls to action and information sharing. And I hope we can all rise to the occasion to match the PCEC's team's dedication and passion. Thank you, all of you. Cheers.